Hello. Welcome to another episode of Time Traveler's Turntable, where I share with you stories, adventures, madcap events around my experiences as an entertainer, singer-songwriter, recording artist, and the songs and the great musicians I've worked with over the years. Today I'm going to talk about a singer-songwriter, kind of a comedian, funny guy, named Johnny Russell. He was from the South. He moved to Los Angeles around 1960-ish to get involved in the scene, and eventually branched out to Bakersfield, where Buck Owens and Merle Haggard were coming up with their particular brand of country music. Very twangy, very accessible, melodic. So Johnny was trying to find his hit. He was cranking out some songs. In fact, years later, he had another hit. He had a bunch, but it was called Rednecks, White Sox, and Blue Ribbon Beer. But back then, hits weren't happening. So he's in Bakersfield one night, 1961. He has a date with his girlfriend. The phone rings. He picks it up. Johnny, can you come to L.A.? We need you for a session. He says, all right, I'll be there. Hung up the phone, broke the date with his girlfriend, and she said, hey, so how come you have to go to L.A. and leave me here? He said, they're gonna put me in the movies and make a big star out of me. And they both laughed. He's driving to L.A. that night, and he goes, wait a minute, that's a song. They're gonna put me in the movies. They're gonna make a big star out of me. Make a film about a man that's sad and lonely, and all I gotta do is act naturally. We'll make a scene about a man that's sad and lonely, and take him down on his bended knee. I'll play the part, but I don't need rehearsing, and all I gotta do is act naturally. Well, I bet you I'm gonna be a big star. I might win an Oscar, you can never tell. The movie's gonna make me a big star, 'cause I can play the part so well. I hope you come and see me in the movies. Now then I know you will plainly see biggest fool that ever hit the big time, and all I gotta do is act naturally. Like that. So that's a pretty catchy song, but guess what? Nobody wanted it at first. He shopped that song for 2 years, even a producer telling him songs about making movies will never sell. So, fast forward to 1963, Johnny's back in Bakersfield. He's not giving up on that song either. He's teaming up with another songwriter, Vonnie Russell, a lady who worked in that whole Buck Owens and the Buckaroos circle. And she heard it and said, man, Buck ought to do this. And he gave her a songwriting credit just to pitch the song. She didn't actually compose anything. But anyway, that's how it rolls in the music business, trying to spread the wealth. And Buck didn't like it. At first he was, I don't know. So his partner, though, the legendary guitarist Don Rich, heard it, demoed it. Finally, Buck clicked with it. Said, okay, we'll put it out there. Who knows? That song, his record, went to #1 that year and stayed up there 28 weeks. Pretty cool. Fast forward 2 years, the Beatles over in England are doing songs for the Help movie soundtrack, and someone realized, hey, Ringo doesn't have a vocal. They try to give Ringo a vocal once in a while. So they wrote a song called If You've Got Troubles, had Ringo sing it. It wasn't clicking. They shelved it. Then John, Paul, George, and Ringo, who were fans of country and rockabilly, said, hey, why don't we do that Buck Owens song that was a big hit years ago? So they cut it. Ringo sang it, one take. That was a one take Ringo take. Put it together, didn't use it for help. No. But they did put it out as a single with Yesterday, which was obviously the most covered song in history, Paul McCartney's hugest song. But here's something. Capitol Records intended that Act Naturally be the A side. So it all worked out though, because both songs were hits. Years go by, and Ringo becomes identified with the song. 1989, Buck and Ringo finally did a music video duet together with that song. And people were still playing it. So that just goes to show, thank you Johnny Russell, thank you Buck, thank you Beatles, thank you Ringo for doing that song. It pays to stick with what you know and to act naturally. All right, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Time Traveler's Turntable.